Good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. Tonight you're with me, Rungtip Chonapalai. After the first day of water drainage test on the west side of Bangkok, the chairman of the Committee of Water Management stressed that the capacity to drain water is more efficient than last year. Meanwhile, the Bangkok governor identified 7 risk areas that may be affected from this test. During the first day of water drainage testing in Thawee Wattana Canal to the west of Bangkok, Mamrachwong Sukhumpan Baripat, the Bangkok governor, assigned officials to monitor the test and prepare for any consequences resulting from the test. He identified 7 risk areas that may be affected in the districts of Thawee Wattana, Bangkok and Bangbon. Meanwhile, Potpasop Surasabadi, chairman of the Committee of Water Management, went to the Thawee Wattana area near Salaya district of Nakhon Pathom province and found that the area of Thawee Wattana Canal has limited ability to drain water due to its narrowness. Potpasop points out that Thawee Wattana Canal can only be dredged or expanded to a certain extent without affecting the dam near Thawee Wattana Canal. Moreover, the water drainage capacity of Thawee Wattana Canal is only 4.5 cubic square meters per second and not the predicted 7 cubic square meters. Chairman of the Committee of Water Management, however, stressed that the capacity for water drainage is 3 times more efficient than the floods of last year would have required. During the testing of the emergency flood drainage system in Thawee Wattana district in Bangkok today, Director of the Hydro and Agroinformatics Institute said that this year they don't anticipate a repeat of last year's severe flooding, but preparation is important due to climate change. Here's more from Kyo Jariya.
The government began testing Bangkok flood drainage system by releasing large amounts of water into the city's waterways in the east and the west of the city to evaluate the efficiency of the drainage system. Director of Hydro and Agroinformatics Institute, or HAII, said that due to the previous severe flooding last year, the HAII is trying to develop information system to help analyze and provide support for decision-making process to prevent more flooding. He added that today they are testing Thawee Wattana Canal, into which they have released water at the rate of 7 cubic meters per second from the Thawee Wattana Gateway to Thawee Wattana Canal and through Pasi Charan Canal starting at 2 p.m.
We are willing to test Thawee Wattana as Thawee Wattana is the main, one of the main. There are 2 or 3 main canal in the west bank of the Chapaya River that go from north to south. The other main canal is from the east to the west. So to divert the water or flood from the northern part of Bangkok to Gulf of Thailand, we need to optimize and how that we can exploit all this north-south canal.
He added that the HAII has been working for almost 2 months with a number of agencies such as Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, the Navy, the Royal Irrigation Department to prepare for this test.
For this year, we don't expect that we shall face a severe flood. Yeah, but anyway, we need to be ready for the situation that is seem to be non-deterministic with the climate change. We are working with Navy. They are really good in sea level and sea level studies, sea level statistics, and sea level forecasting.
Although people are worried about more flooding this year, especially in northern Thailand, where it has been raining continuously, the situation is rather different this year.
ในลุ่มน้ำเจ้าพระยานะครับเราจะมีเขื่อนใหญ่ๆ2 เขื่อนนะครับที่เป็นต้นน้ำก็คือเขื่อนภูมิพลกับเขื่อนสิริกิติ์
The director of the Office of Water Management and Hydrology at the Royal Irrigation Department said that 2 main reservoirs of Phumipon and the Sirikit Dam are at 49% and 56% capacity respectively. This is much better situation than last year. The Meteorological Department has announced that there will be heavy rain at the northern part of Thailand from the first week of September. However, authorities at the Irrigation Department are confident that flood prevention plan for this year will be effective. Kiljariya, Thai PBS.
Police in Buriram province have discovered irregularities in the local rice pledging program for the 2011 to 2012 season after over 400 farmers submitted fake rice weight documents to public warehouse organization to obtain the documents which the farmers used to get cash for their rice from the Bank for Agriculture and Agricultural Cooperatives.
In the last month, authorities have apprehended 5 senior officials overseeing the state rice pledging program for cheating the public and fabricating legal documents. Today, police in Buriram province discovered that over 400 farmers turned in fake rice weight documents to the public warehouse organization for their Baipratuam documents, which the farmers used to get cash for their rice from the Bank for Agriculture and Agricultural Cooperatives. This cost the government over 40 million baht. Authorities believe that state officials or millers are involved in the case and are summoning these farmers to testify in person. Legal action will be taken against those who are found to have played a part in the conspiracy. Meanwhile, officials from the Department of Special Investigation or DSI inspected Pathalung Thanyakit Mill in Pathalung Province. No corruption has yet been detected and farmers are able to pledge their crop at 12,000 to 14,000 baht per ton. However, after checking with the central warehouse, the DSI found that Pathalung Thanyakit Mill did not abide by some of the rice pledging regulations. For instance, the mill has not installed CCTV cameras in the required locations, while those cameras that are installed were found to not be in working condition. Pathalung Thanyakit Mill has been allowed 15 days to make the necessary improvements.
Dornmueang Airport will reopen on 1st October as passenger number at Suvarnabhumi Airport reached 47 million annually. Earlier, I talked to Chhatchat Sithipan, Deputy Minister of Transport, about how Dornmueang Airport has been redeveloped in terms of service and cooperation. We know that Suvarnabhumi and Dornmueang will have to merge very soon. So what is the plan to develop these two airports?
Okay, right now Suvarnabhumi is at full capacity because we decided to take about 45 million annual passenger. Now it's like 47 million already. So I think we have to come back and use Dornmueang. For Suvarnabhumi, we are developing the second phase because the second phase development, which will include the development of the satellite terminal, which will have 28 more contact gates.
Right.
Will be completed in 5 years, and the capacity would be 60 million annual passengers. For Dornmueang, we already start. In fact, Nok Air already operate at Dornmueang. So right now, capacity at Dornmueang about 3 million annual passenger. The Thai Air Asia will start in the 1st of October, and will bring the passenger up to about 10 million annual passengers. So we are ready. Yeah.
Right, but that is quite an ambitious plan as well when we talk about almost like 60 million. But what about in terms of connectivity between these two and also connect to the region?
Yeah, right now Dornmueang we designate as a point-to-point airline only because the connectivity between Dornmueang and Suvarnabhumi is quite limited. Right now we have only shuttle bus running, but the plan would be extension of the airport link from Suvarnabhumi to Makasan, Payathai, Bangsu, and Dornmueang. The extension can carry maybe like 30,000 passengers per hour. So will be completed in 3.5 years. So I think we will start the bidding maybe later this year or early next year.
The Bank of Thailand, or the BOT, has kept its benchmark interest rate unchanged for a 5th straight month after the economy rebound, resisting calls from the government for the lower borrowing cost. The central bank held its one-day bond repurchase rate at 3%. The decision was predicted by 18 of 21 economists in a Bloomberg News survey, while 3 expected a quarter-point cut. The central bank has refrained from adding to its November and January rate reductions as the country recovered from its worst floods in almost 7 decades. BOT Governor Prasan Thairatbaragun joins counterparts from the Euro region to Japan and the United States in facing pressure from politicians to shore up growth. with Finance Minister Kitirat Naranong urging lower borrowing costs and a weaker currency. The central bank said it is ready to adjust policy if needed. While domestic demand remains strong, exports may be weaker than expected this year, it said, adding that current rate is appropriate for growth and inflation. The Democrat Party are sticking to their proposal to have the Prime Minister join the House motion to address problems in the far south, in lieu of accepting Deputy Prime Minister Bamrung's invitation to a roundtable discussion this Friday. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister paid a visit to Narathiwat province to listen to the problems and work out ways to solve the problems in the restive south. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra visited Narathiwat province today and met with religious and community leaders. She pledged that she will endeavor to solve the problem of unrest in the three southernmost provinces while improving local standards of living. The Premier admitted that the ongoing violence has severely impacted locals' life. Prime Minister Yingluck then summoned the commanders of Yala, Pattani and Narathiwat provinces to report to her on this situation, especially the recent attempt by insurgents to link the unrest to a neighboring country by hanging Malaysian flags at many spots throughout the provinces on August 31st. Still, National Security Agency indicated that the incident did not create any misunderstanding between Thailand and Malaysia because the two countries have a long record of good diplomatic relationships. Moreover, the two countries work together to solve the southern unrest. Deputy Prime Minister Bamrung confirmed that he has forwarded an official letter to invite the Democrat Party leader and his MPs from southern provinces to this Friday's roundtable discussion on solving the problems in the restive south. Nonetheless, Abhisit Bechachiwa, opposition leader and Democrat Party leader, said that he has already asked then House Speaker Somsak Kiasuranon to have the Prime Minister join an urgent House motion that will address the problem in the far south. Following the fatal hit-and-run accident earlier this week, police said that they have gathered evidence to file the lawsuit against the driver of the Ferrari involved in the accident in which a police officer lost his life. 3 days after the fatal hit-and-run accident, police are ready to file a lawsuit against driver of the Ferrari, Warayut Yuwithaya, grandson of an energy drink company founder. Evidence includes video from 3 closed-circuit TV cameras in the area near the location of the accident and damage to the Ferrari. Metropolitan Police Deputy Commander-in-Chief, head of the investigation team, revealed that although Warayut denies any wrongdoing, evidence shows and witnesses will testify that Warayut drove recklessly and struck a motorcycle being ridden by Police Senior Sergeant Major Vichienkan Pasert, causing his death. The other charge will be for fleeing the scene of an accident. As for Yuwithaya's family, the lawyer said that compensation will be provided to the family of the victim no matter what the verdict in the trial is. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who met China's President Hu Jintao and Foreign Minister, wants China to stop backing the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and has been pushing for it to be more flexible in lowering tension over the oil-rich South China Seas.
Talks between U.S. Secretary of State and Chinese leaders today failed to narrow gaps on how to end the crisis in Syria and how to resolve Beijing's territorial disputes with its smaller neighbors over the South China Sea. Comments from both Clinton and Yang showed that no movement on narrowing their differences had been made, although both said they were committed to working together. The United States and other countries are upset that China and Russia have repeatedly used their veto powers in the UN Security Council to block actions that could have led to sanctions against Assad's regime. China says it is against the fighting, but that it needs to be resolved through negotiations and not outside pressure. Yang said that history will judge that China's position on the Syria question is a promotion of the appropriate handling of the situation. But Clinton responded by saying the violence was boiling over into other countries and that strong backing should be given to the United Nations Security Council.
With respect to Syria, it is no secret that we have been disappointed by Russia and China's actions blocking tougher UN Security Council resolutions, and we hope to continue to unite behind a real path forward to end the violence in Syria.
Clinton arrived in China from Indonesia, where she had urged Southeast Asian nations to present a unified front in dealing with China in attempts to ease rising tensions in the South China Sea. The US wants China and other claimants to adopt a binding code of conduct for the region, along with the process to resolve maritime disputes without coercion, intimidation, or the use of force. Clinton wants the Chinese to drop their insistence on settling conflicting claims with individual nations and instead embrace a multilateral mechanism that will give the smaller members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations greater clout in negotiations. But Yang repeated China's statements that it was ready to discuss the sea disputes, but only through bilateral talks. China and a host of Southeast Asian countries, including the Philippines, Vietnam and Brunei, have overlapping claims to several small but potentially energy-rich areas of the South China Sea. Clinton and her comments on the South China Sea have been strongly criticized in the official Chinese media over the last 2 days. Hugh Adams, Thai PBS.
Thank you, Kun Hugh. Here at Thai PBS News, there are exciting opportunities for English language reporters to join us based at Thai PBS Studios as part of our team producing Thai PBS English News Service. If you would like more information, please visit the Thai PBS website. And if you are interested, send your resume to us at job@thaipbs.or.th. And that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. Thank you for watching. I'm Rung Tip Chonapalai. Have a good night. สวัสดีค่ะ